Hey everyone, and welcome back to another video. Today is episode 4 of the JDA bot coding tutorial, and today I'll be showing you how to use reactions inside of your Discord bot, how to detect reactions, and also how to add reactions to messages. So anyways guys, without further ado, let's get started. So let's get back into Eclipse just like we left off in the last episode. Nothing's really changed since last episode. Everything is exactly the same as we left off. But today we're going to be adding a few more classes, mainly just one more listener. In last episode we learned about listeners and how to use them properly, and this episode we're going to be continuing on with that and creating a new listener to listen for reactions. But anyways, in this episode we're going to be detecting when a user sends a message, and then when the user sends a message, the bot is going to add an X kind of reaction to it, and then if the user clicks the X, then it'll delete the message. So I'll guide you exactly how to do that in this video, so let's get started. So basically we're going to go back into our project here. Now we're going to have to create a new class in a second, so let's go back into our project listing here, and under this events package we're going to create a new event for guild message received events. So we're going to be detecting a new event, so right click on this, click class, and I'm just going to call it guild message and then received. We typed that a lot. And this is going to be a listener, so every single listener in JDA, as you can remember, starts with extends listener adapter. So this should be something you already probably know by this point because I've repeated it, I think, in every single video. So yeah, that's nice. But anyways, yeah, we're going to create our listener method here. So public void on guild message and then received over here. And I think this is the point of the video where I also mentioned that I still don't know how to type. So anyway, guild message received and then event. And I mess up on typing this part every single time in every video. It's probably a tradition at this point. Anyways, so yeah, make sure you import everything. I've imported everything successfully in here. And in this class is going to be something very simple. It's going to basically add the reaction to the message. So every time a user sends a message, or a user sends a message inside the guild, right? So every time the bot receives a message, technically, it'll add a reaction. So what we'll do is we'll do the event.getMessage, so we're getting the message that was sent by the user in the channel. So we'll get the message, and then what do we want to do with the message? Well, we want to add a reaction, so we're just going to do .add reaction, simple as that. Then put two quotes in here, so it'll be like a string, as you can remember is just text. And let's type Q right at the end here. Okay, Eclipse is being nice. .q at the end, save that. Now inside of these two quotes we want to put the reaction we want it to send. Now as I said, I want it to send an X kind of thing, so I'm going to press Windows key and period to actually select the X, and let's see if I can do it. There we go, X right there. And just save it as UTF-8, as you remember. It always does this in Eclipse. So now, at this point, it'll add a reaction to the message that we send. So now we have our listener ready. We just have to register our listener in the main class. Remember, don't forget this, otherwise your listener will not work. All this code won't work if you don't register it. So go back to the television class, and then we're going to create a new .add event listener thing here. So just JDA.add event listener, and then we'll do new, and then we'll call it whatever it's called. So in our case, it says guild message received event. So we'll do guild message received event here. Guild message received, that's what I called it, not event. But there we go. We've added our listener, and at this point, if we run the bot, I will actually just demonstrate this very easily. Just click run television up there. It'll open our console. I'm going to drag it just down here. And our bot is successful. So now if we go to our test channel, by the way, like I've had people like get the bot token. Well, of course I gave it away, but people have done some interesting things with the bot token, but I cleared that out because don't want that on the video. But anyways, just gonna type F, and you'll see that it adds a reaction. Now what I want to do now is I want it so when you click the reaction, it'll delete the message. Now you want to make sure that the sender of the message, so basically me, is the only person that can delete the actual message with this. So for now, we've got this, but it won't do anything. So let's add the listener to detect for when a user clicks on this. So we'll do that. So let's go back into our Eclipse. Let's stop the bot from existence because we don't need it right now. And let's add another listener. So this listener is going to listen for when a reaction is added inside of the guild. So as you can assume, it's probably going to be called guild message reaction add. And that's the event we're going to do. So guild message reaction add. And we're just going to call it that. And then remember, this is a listener, so we're going to have to extend listener adapter yet again. And then the event you want to use inside of here is going to be public void on guild message reaction add. It's kind of long, and then this next part is even longer. So guild message reaction, and then add, and then event, and then event. A lot of events, and there we go. So now we've got our guild message reaction add event. These naming schemes are very long, but you know exactly what it does. So now what we want to do is we want to detect what kind of reaction the user clicks. So what we'll do is we'll do an if statement, because if statements allow you to check for things. As we've done before, we're going to check for a condition here. So what we're going to do is we're going to do event.getReaction emote. So this is going to get the actual reaction that they use. So if they click an X, this is going to basically return an X here. But we want to check the type it is. So we're going to do .getName. And I know this is a little confusing. I'll explain in a second, but we'll do dot equals at the end to check that it equals something. And of course, inside of here, we're going to put our X reaction. Windows helped me there. And save as UTF-8 once again. Okay, so basically, what this does is it checks if the reaction is an X. But the confusing part about this, the naming scheme, is you get the reaction emote and you have to get the name of it, which is confusing because, well, the name is actually the reaction, but it's just how it is. So this is all you have to do to detect the type of reaction, and you can put any single emote here if you want to change it. So now, I want to introduce you to something else, and this is going to give superpowers to your if statements. Basically, we're going to be able to check multiple things in a single if statement. So the way to do this in Java is just press space, and, or ampersand, whatever those things are called, and then we can check for another condition inside of here. So we can do if the event equals this, and also if the user that sent it is the owner of the message. So anyway, let's just do that. So I'm going to create a new line just for ease, and I'm actually going to check to make sure that the person that adds the reaction isn't the bot, because if this runs and it detects that the bot added it, it'll delete the bot's own reaction, so it'll delete this initial one right here. And you don't want that to happen, so we're going to prevent that from happening by putting a exclamation mark in front, and I'll show you what that does in a second. But anyway, so we're going to get the member that sent the message, and then we're going to do .get user, so we're going to get the actual user of the channel, and we're going to make sure it's equal to something. Now we want to make sure it's not equal to the bot. So the way we do that is we do event.getJDA, which is going to get the actual bot, and then we can get self-user, which is the bot's own user. So now we got that, what it's going to check for is if the user that sent it is a bot, or the actual bot that we have. The thing is, we want to invert that, so we want to make sure it's not the bot. So what this exclamation point in front does is it checks if it's not whatever we put in here. Very useful, so you can do the exact inverse of what you wanted to check at first. Alright, so now we've got that. So now I'm going to actually use another if statement inside. You can do another ampersand inside of here, but I'm going to do another thing here. Inside of this if statement that we just created, we're going to put another if statement, so nested if statements. And inside of here is where we're going to check to make sure that the user that added the emote is the user that owns the message. If not, then we'll have an else statement here that does nothing, basically removes the reaction. So we're going to check to make sure inside of here that the member that is adding the reaction is the author of the message. So we're going to do event.getMember .getUser in this case, .equals, and .equals. And now we got to fetch the message, so we're just going to do event.getChannel.getMessage by ID. We're going to do event.getMessageID. And then we want to get the actual author of the message. So I'm going to find where this ends here. I think it's here. All right. And then we're going to do .get, actually we're going to do .complete in this case. And we're going to do .get author. And that's about it. Okay, so that's a little confusing. So basically what we did here, and I'll explain this because it's a fairly long thing. Basically what we do is we check if the user, so we're getting the user that actually added the reaction emote, and then we check if it's the user that actually created the message. So we're getting the channel and we're getting the message that the reaction was added to, and then we're getting the author of the message that we did. And in this case we have to use .complete so it actually does the action, and then after that we can get the author. Fairly complex. So basically now, if it's the author, and I'm going to use proper grammar so nobody screams at me in the comments. So if it's the author, we want to delete the message. So we're going to do event.getChannel, and we're going to do something similar as we did before. We're going to get message by ID, because for some reason it wants message IDs. But anyway, event.getMessageID.complete. So, oh geez, nope. We don't want to do that. We want to go outside and do .complete here. And then we want to do .delete and then .q. So I don't know why it's a little weird, because it wants you to complete and then it wants you to queue, but it works, so that's all that matters. And if it's not the member, so if not the author, proper grammar and stuff, and if it's not the author, we want to remove the reaction. So we'll do event.getReaction.remove reaction, and then we want to .q, or you can do .complete, I'm pretty sure. And for some reason Eclipse is messing up again. Oh my gosh. Oh jeez. Alright, so after that technical difficulty over there, we've got .q at the end. So yeah, now what this will do is if the reaction is the X, and also if the user is not the bot, it'll check if the user that added the reaction is the user that sent it. If it is, delete the message, and then if it's not, delete the reaction. And that's about it. So all we have to do now is we have to actually register the listener. Do not forget to register the reaction add listener. Very, very important. Otherwise, you're going to be screaming at me down below in the comments. Anyway, so we're going to do message reaction add. There we go. That's about it. So now we're going to run our bot. And we didn't run our bot that many times in this episode. We should probably do that more. Anyways, so now we've got the bot ready. We're going to go to our test channel. I'm going to delete this to pretend like it doesn't exist. Delete. Okay. So we're going to do test. And now what we do is we click it. And if it's us, it'll delete the message. Now I have a way to test this. So I'll open up another user here in a second. So yeah, now I've got another account. I've loaded up another instance of Discord. And I'm Box VPS Tester now. I'm not my own account, so we're going to go into my own account here. We're just going to type test, and now we'll see that it as a reaction. Now, keep in mind that I'm not going to be deleting it off of my account here. I'm going to be testing to make sure another account can't delete the message. So, Box VPS Tester, we're going to click on this, and it should remove the reaction, and it did. So now, we can make sure that another user can't delete our own messages. So anyways, guys, that's about it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I hope you can find it useful. The source code will be down below in the description. I'll have a link to all the source code we used in this episode, so you can use it and modify it and copy it and do whatever you want with it. But anyways, guys, also, by the way, as usual, check the Discord server out. I'll have a link down below in the description, and that's about it for this episode. So anyways, guys, I'm out. I'll see you in the next one.